Problem number 1. Of the fractions 6/11, 5/8, 8/17, and 7/12, which one is the largest? This problem involves comparing fractions. You don't have to convert the fractions into their decimal equivalents in order to know which has the largest value. Instead, just compute the difference between the denominator from the numerator for each fraction. Then compare their values. To illustrate, for a given number value of 1, which can also be represented as 1/1, as you increase the value of the denominator, with the same numerator, you will notice that the value of the fraction decreases. The decimal equivalent of 1/2 is 0.5, 1/4 is 0.25, and 1/8 is 0.125. Now, let's subtract the numerator from the denominator of each fraction given. For the first fraction, 11 minus 6 is equal to 5. For the second fraction, 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. For the third fraction, 17 minus 8 is equal to 9. And for the last fraction, 12 minus 7 is equal to 5. Thus, the fraction that has the smallest difference, is also the fraction that has the largest value. And the correct answer is 5/8. To check if our assumption is correct, the following are the decimal equivalents of the given fractions. Letter B, on our choices. Problem number 2. Find a number, such that 3/5 of that is 42. We can make a diagram to better understand the problem. Let's say that the number we are looking for can be represented by a circle like this one. Now, this circle is divided into several parts. And one part of this circle, that is, 3/5 of this circle has a value of 42. Thus, the problem can be restated as, find the absolute value of the whole circle. So, how do we find this value? This can be solved using ratio and proportion. 3/5 is part of a one whole circle, as 42 is part of a total of x parts. Rewriting the mathematical sentence, we have 3/5 is equal to 42 over x. Cross-multiplying we get, 3x is equal to 42 times 5. Divide both sides of the equation by 3, to remove 3 from x. Now we have, x, is equal to 42 times 5 divided by 3. 42 times 5 is equal to 210. And 210 divided by 3 is equal to 70. Therefore, 70 is the final answer. Letter B, on our choices. Before we continue, don't forget to click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever a new Math Rescue video comes out. Problem number 3. Find a fraction, which when added to 3/8 the result is 7/6. Let's represent the unknown fraction as n. It is stated in the problem that if you add 3/8 to this fraction, the result would be equal to 7/6. So, to get the answer, we just have to subtract 3/8 from 7/6. Here, we are subtracting two fractions with different denominators, so we have to find the least common denominator or LCD. To find the LCD, we can use prime factorization. The prime factors of 6 are 3 and 2. And for the number 8, the prime factors are 2 times 2 times 2. To get the LCD, we combine all common prime factors to both numbers into a single factor, then multiply these to the remaining unselected prime factors. 2 is the only common prime factor to both numbers, then the LCD is 2 times 3 times 2 times 2, and is equal to 24. Now, we convert the original fractions using the LCD. For the first fraction, we divide the original denominator by the LCD and multiply the quotient to the original numerator. So, 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. And 4 times 7 is equal to 28. So the new fraction is equal to 28 over 24. Then, we convert the second fraction. We do the same process. 24 divided by 8 is equal to 3. And 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So the new fraction is equal to 9 over 24. Now, we can subtract the two fractions. 28 minus 9 is equal to 19. Thus, we get 19 over 24. This is letter B on our choices. Problem number 4. The difference between 1/3 of a number and 1/4 of the same number is 50. What is the number? In math, 1/3 of a number simply means that we multiply a certain number by 1/3. To illustrate, let's say we have a number whose value is equal to 20. Half of 20 can be written as 20 over 2. 1/3 of 20 can be written as 20 over 3. And 1/4 of 20 can be written as 20 over 4. Going back to our problem, let n be the number that we are looking for. It is stated that on the problem that 1/3 of this number, or n over 3 minus 1/4 of the same number, or n over 4, is equal to 50. So, we now have our equation. To remove the denominators, let's multiply both sides of the equation by 3 and 4. Multiplying n over 3 by 3 and 4, 3 cancels out, 4 is retained, and becomes 4n. Multiplying n over 4 by 3 and 4, 4 cancels out, 3 is retained, and becomes 3n. On the other side of the equation, it is 50 times 3 times 4, or 12. Then, 4n minus 3n becomes n only. On the other side, 50 times 12 is equal to 600. Thus, n is equal to 600. This is letter A on our choices. Problem number 5. Find how many percent of 3/5 is 1/10. Solving percentage problems involving fractions is just the same as solving percentage with whole numbers or decimals. Let's start with something easy and you're familiar with. If you remember that 50% of 100 is equal to 50, then you have nothing to worry about. Converting this sentence into a mathematical equation. 50% is equal to 50 over 100, multiplied by 100%. In this problem, the missing part is the percent value, given the percentage quantity, which is 1/10, and the base quantity, with a value of 3/5. The equation will be equal to this. Let x be the percent value, which is equal to 1/10 over 3/5, times 100%. The problem now involves dividing fractions. To divide two fractions, the first step is to get the reciprocal or the reverse of the second fraction. Then, after inverting, just multiply the two fractions to arrive at the answer. So, the equation now becomes 1 over 10 times 5 over 3. The product will be equal to 5 over 30. Don't forget to multiply 100% to this because we are asked to find the percent value. 5 over 30 can still be simplified further into 1 over 6 times 100%. Then the fraction now becomes 100 over 6%. Looking at the choices for the answer, we see that some are in the form of a mixed fraction, so our answer should also be converted to this type. To convert to a mixed fraction, just divide the numerator by the denominator, and if there is a remainder, this will become the numerator of the fraction. So, the answer is 16 2/3%. Letter D, on our choices. Problem number 6. Multiplying 3/5 of a number by 2/3 is the same as multiplying 1/10 of that number by blank. Let n be a certain number, and let x be the multiplier of the said number n. Now, we write the mathematical expression for this word problem. 3/5 times n times 2/3 is equal to 1/10 times n times x. Canceling n on both sides of the equation, the mathematical expression now becomes 3 over 5 times 2 over 3 is equal to 1 over 10 times x. We can cancel 3 from the numerator of the first fraction and 3 from the denominator of the second fraction. The mathematical expression now becomes 2 over 5 is equal to x over 10. We can now cross-multiply since the expression has only one term on both sides of the equation. After cross-multiplying the terms, we now have 5x is equal to 2 times 10. To remove 5 from the variable x, we divide both sides of the equation by 5. X is the only term that will remain in the left side, and on the right side, 2 times 2. Thus, X will be equal to 4. Letter B, on our choices. Now for our final problem, try to solve this first by yourself. I will be showing the step-by-step solution later on the video. You can pause the video, and resume watching after you've solved the problem to check if you got it right. You may start solving now. Before we end, please don't forget to subscribe so that we can make more videos of this kind, and tell us what you think in the comments below. That's it for this video. Be sure to watch our other videos on this channel to be able to survive math problems.